Greetings YouTube, Fuzzfinger here with you, back with Final Fantasy XII, and today we're going to be exploring the Phon Coast. If you enjoy watching, please remember you can support me just by hitting the like button, and stay tuned for today's show. Right then, so, at the end of episode 41 we left off here, which is at the entrance to the Phon Coast, just from the exit to the Salika Wood behind us. And we're going to continue on from the same place then obviously today. But if you are interested in doing a bunch of optional content, then check out all the videos I've uploaded in the playlist since episode 41. And that covers all, a bunch of hunts, as well as a video I did where we collected a new Esper, an optional Esper. If you're only interested in the main story walkthrough, then just stick with the numbered episodes. But if you want to get some of that optional stuff, then please do go and check out those other videos as well. Okay, so we're going to head south here and start collecting the treasures, as you would expect, of course. There's going to be quite a few treasures in this place. It's a large area, and some of those treasures are also going to be containing some pretty nice items, including weapons. So the plan is for me to point those out to you when I know that they're going to occur, so that if you don't get them, then obviously you can just continue on. But for the most part in this initial section, it's just going to be potions and the like. Although there is a bowline sash in one of these chests, and that's the one in the corner up here. I'm going to show you. Let's speed things up a bit. So right in the corner, a chest can spawn. And it has spawned, in fact. And that can contain a bowline sash. There we go, look. So that's the first piece of equipment you might want to nab. And then just moving on down here, most of this other stuff, as I say, is just going to be potions in this initial area. But there are going to be some other decent pieces of equipment I'm going to point out to you, because there's going to be weapons as well. Take care of the flying foes with your range casters, of course. And just down here, I believe there's another chest. Might be in the watery area. Just come back from here for a moment, because there's still a few bits we can explore in the last area. There's 2 exits you see out of this first area. Just slow the game down speed, the game speed down a little bit, 2 times. And we're just dinging level 35 by the looks of things, which is decent. I recommend really you want to be about level 30 at least before making your way through the Phon Coast. As you can see, some of these enemies are going to be hitting quite hard, which is something we're experiencing already, aren't we? So just killing this guy. I know there's a treasure there, that's what I'm actually after. Go and grab it now. And it's got a high potion for us. And just on the other side, there can be a couple of other treasures. In this case, 68 gil. So most of these treasures will respawn. If there's any that don't, I will mention those to you, so that you're not farming them if you get one of something and you want to get more of it. But that bowline sash, for example, is a treasure that can respawn multiple times, so that's something to be aware of. Right then, so there's at least one item here that we might want to farm for. And it is just over by the beach. I believe it could be this one. Or it's one of these chests anyway. So I'll probably end up resetting this area. But the item is a... Just let me go and reset and I'll find out. So this is the treasure I was talking about that you'll probably want to grab. It's the Lamia's Tiara. And it was located just here next to this rock. It did take a few attempts of just exiting the area and then coming back in again. But hey, we got it. So you can just grab all the other treasures as well. But that's the one that you'll probably want to get in terms of equipment. And there's just the usual gil and everything else. Potions and what have you. That can also be collected. And then we're going to head over to the area to the east at this point. Because that's going to have yet another item that we might want to try and farm for. Remember, none of these are one-time only, so you can get them multiple times if you wanted to, for whatever reason. So I do actually need a healer, I understand, but I'm trying to level my lower level characters at this particular moment in time, which is why I haven't had a healer up until this point. So we're going to head over to the east here. Right as you come in, you can grab a belt, a Nishijin belt. So you'll want to reset that if you don't get it. That's the first item that you want to get. Let's grab some of these other treasures as well while we're here. Prince's Kiss. And I'll just show you where the other treasure is that can spawn a nice item. I'm personally going to go and grab one of those other tiaras as well, because it was a good upgrade for Ash, but it's going to be a good upgrade for Fran as well. I believe it's... No, it's not this chest. I'll grab it while I'm here, but this isn't an item chest that's any good. Wow. I didn't even realise we had Confuse on because of the speed increase there. Grab the high potion. And I believe just around here is the other treasure, but it hasn't spawned for us, unless it's this one. No, it's not this one. Okay, so there's a treasure here which can spawn an item, and then just over here there's another couple of treasures which we can grab while we're in the area. Some tough enemies around here, like I say, so please make sure you're prepared before coming to this place. At least with the autosave feature, if you do get wiped, you only have to reset from the last area you zoned into, which is really helpful. So yeah, there can be a treasure that spawns around here, but there hasn't been. So I'm going to go and find those couple of items I've mentioned, and then we'll carry on. There we go. So we get an Empyrean Rod, which is otherwise known as a pretty decent item. So you want to pick that up. And then we're going to be making our way over to the southeastern exit of this area. Let's grab a couple of these treasures again while they're spawned. There we go. Right then, so there's going to be another bunch of treasures, about 10 that can spawn in this area. So again, we'll just go around looting them as they do so, and I'll point out the ones that are good to grab. Right, so the first item you can get in this area is parallel arrows from this chest here. They're probably not all that special though, that's not the exciting stuff you can get from this particular zone. If we head around to the other side, however, then there's chests that can spawn items such as the Demon Mail, for example, which is a very nice piece of equipment for this stage in the game. And I'll just show you where those chests can spawn, so you can spend a bit of time farming if need be. Just around here, the chests that are in this area. I'm not sure exactly which chest it is, but one of these chests spawns the Demon Mail, and obviously that's going to come in pretty darn useful, it's got to be said. In fact, it might even be this chest up here, you know. Try those again. Right, yeah, so it's this chest here is the one that you want. Okay, so just away from the other structures and that are in that particular area. But you can also get an Astrakhan hat as well from this structure. So lots of nice gear there. You can go ahead and use the save points if you want to. But I'm going to show you a couple of other treasures as well in the area that you can see everything else is pointing towards that we haven't yet been into. So we're going to head over there next. And in terms of treasure for this place, there's a Viking coat, at least, and a Hellbird. Okay? So, just check. There's some treasures, I think, but on the other side of this section. There are some tough mobs around here. Some of these guys take a real beating. And this is with 3 range casters. Oh no, I just realised that I've got Balthier using a dagger at the moment. And I can't change him out. Let's just run. I am going to get those treasures. 193 gil. How exciting, eh? How very, very exciting. So go around this central section here, where there's going to be more treasures to loot. And just up here there's some more treasure as well. And in this corner. Remember, chests don't have to spawn. So by all means, if they don't spawn, don't panic. Just reset the area and come back, and hopefully you'll have some more luck. I think you can get one treasure chest down here by this cliff edge, but I don't think it spawned for us, has it? Doesn't look like it, does it? And any others, or is that it? Oh, there's one here, look. Okay, so I'll show you the chests now in this area that you want to get out of the ones that didn't actually have anything in for us on this account. Okay, interestingly, the treasure that didn't spawn immediately for us on that cliff edge is actually a good one, because that gives you a crystal shield. So I do recommend trying to farm for that. And then we can basically move on to the next area, which is, of course, down here in the one place that we haven't yet been to, and this will connect all the areas together then that we've explored up to this point to the area with the save section. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, well, probably about another 10 or so treasures here. So first of all, I'll show you where they are, and then I'll pinpoint the ones once again that you'll probably want to get in particular. You never know, you might even get some good treasures on our first attempt. Although, somehow I have my doubts to that. You can get a treasure spawn just up here, to the left. There it is. And then, if we stay along the coast here, we can see just on the mountain there's another treasure. And then we're going to head south into this crevice, and there can be a whole bunch of treasures to collect in this area. What's all our party doing? Ah, I got a trophy, record breaker. The AoEs could kindly take out this thing, thank you. And I'm just going to slow things down while we loot these treasures here. So most of it, of course, again, is going to be gil and high potions. But then with any luck, we'll get some gear as well. More gil. And a potion again. Right, so we're just going to reset this area. Hopefully this won't kick off a cutscene. Nope, that's good. So this is a good item that we want, a dragon shield, which can be looted just from the chest here in this location. And hopefully that's going to be an upgrade for Phon here. Yes, it is. Look at that. A nice upgrade. And his platinum shield was already a good shield. And there's also the crystal shield that we looted in the previous area. As you can see, both of these are good. But this crystal shield, oh my goodness, I've got to equip that thing. That's beautiful. Oh, it's gorgeous, that is. And we're just going to move on now. None of my other characters are using shields at the moment. So that's the items you want to get. I hope that's been helpful to you, actually, showing you some of those. Saves you just going around randomly, doesn't it, the area, opening every chest multiple times to see what it's got. So let's head into the actual camp area now. And if we go a bit further, we will kick off that cutscene I was worried about earlier on. Starting a little bit preemptively, but here we go.
Race it to the water.
Oh, thank you, Zero, for your subscription.
Why the capital?
The Nethicite. I must destroy it.
Are you sure? You don't want it for yourself? Use its power to restore Dalmasca? Something like that? The best intentions invite the worst kind of trouble.
Lusting for ever greater power. Blinded by the Nethicite. Is that how you see me?
That does sound like someone I know. He was obsessed with Nethicite. It was all he cared about.
Come over here.
He'd babble nonsense,
Hey!
blind to aught but the stone's
Watch it.
power.
Like I said,
He'd talk about some Enna, or was it
beautiful view,
Vena?
except for you.
No matter.
Thank you.
Everything he did to get closer to the Nethicite, to understand it. He made airships, weapons. He even made me a judge.
You were a judge?
Part of a past I'd rather forget. It didn't last long. I ran. I left the judges and him. Sidolphus Demon Bonanza. Draculaur Laboratories' very own Dr. Sid. That's when he lost his heart to Nethicite. Lost himself. And I suppose that's when I lost my father. Don't follow in his footsteps. I ran away. I couldn't stand seeing him like that, a slave to the stone. So I ran. Free at last. Funny I went for the Dusk Shard. How could I have known that it was Nethicite? And then, of course, I met you. All that running, and I got nowhere. It's time to end this. Cut my ties to the past.
It's hard to leave the past behind. I know.
Marriage of convenience. Symbol of the alliance between Nabradia and Dalmasca. This is how they see our match.
They do they?
These roles we play. I must admit, I find it wearying.
I will play mine.
I would have no other.
The choice is yours to make. But don't give your heart to a stone. You're too strong for that, princess.
I pray you're right, Balthier.
Rightio, so taking control once again of our team here. There's a few things we can do. Notice that there's a notice board just here. And we can accept some hunts from that, although it's going to be the same stuff that you've already got, unless you haven't been back to town for a while. But there's also a few vendors and whatnot. Notice this vendor here, because I believe there's some decent equipment you might look at purchasing, although some of this stuff you've been able to loot. So save your gil, like the Emprian Rod, the Aldebaran, the Halberd, and a lot of other this stuff, or some of this stuff, is stuff that you might have already found in the treasures, and if you haven't, then you can do. The same with the armour as well. So, the other thing you might want to notice, some of these accessories you may not yet have. The power armlet is a good one. It prevents stop, so having a couple of those is never going to go amiss, trust me. In fact, there's certain hunts and whatnot in this game that are trivialised by the use of the power armlet. You can loot it as well, but I'm just going to purchase it, so I've got it handy. The agate ring is useful, as long as you know, you're fighting enemies that do thunder damage or wind damage. And also magic gloves are great in the right situation, so just check some of this stuff out basically. But one of the things you really want to check out is the magics, because you won't have Confuse or Firegar, but now you will. And Firegar in particular, of course, is going to come in very, very useful against ice oriented foes. And we also want to speak to... no, we don't want to speak to Gertie. Gertie gives us the chocobo. Although it's nice to have that option there, in case you do want to do so at any point. But there's another, I believe, Mughal around here that'll sell us a map. Hiding somewhere anyway. Okay, looks like we're just up here. The Cartographers Key of Mughal. So we can chat to them if you want to. And purchase the map for 1800 gil. Although it always gets me that we get to purchase the maps when we're, like, explored already the vast majority of the area. Seems pretty pointless then, doesn't it? But hey, I guess you don't have to have explored the bits we explored before reaching the map. You know, maybe you just race through to this bit and then want to explore afterwards, but I wanted to get some of those treasures, which is why I do it in that particular order. But you can chat to some of the other NPCs as well. But that's probably all that's worth doing apart from saving. Oh no, actually there is one more thing I've just remembered. There is a side quest that is around this region, but I don't think we can do it yet. So we're looking for some shady dealers. Not this one. Right, there's the vendor. I think it's over here. Yeah, we can chat to this shady Bangar. And chat to some of the others as well. Basically, there's a side quest involved here. We're getting a bit of information about the fact that this is a club of some kind. But yeah, as I expected, we can't actually do it yet. But just note this place for later on, because there basically is a side quest here. Right then, okay, I think we're going to finish things off here, because it would involve going to explore more of this area if we didn't. And I need a rest, quite frankly. So please do come back next time. We'll continue on with the Phon Coast and continue making our way into Arcadia. But thanks for joining me today. If you've enjoyed watching, let me know in the comments. And also maybe hit that like button as well. I really appreciate your support. And we'll carry on with Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age from the next episode. But that's from